Some woke up this morning, the day after elections, in celebration, and some woke up in sorrow. Nothing that happened yesterday erases the fact that we still have lives we need to work on. So let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay, here we go. Stop making goals. Now, I know that you're thinking, what are you saying? You're a therapist? That's what therapists do. They help their clients make goals. That doesn't make sense. And you know what? I challenged that thought too when it entered into the room in my brain, for sure. Doesn't make sense. But I need you to walk with me on this. So, what are goals? Goals are things that we have identified that we want. Yes, and more yes. But the quiet thing we haven't said out loud is there's this unspoken expectation that we have to make it happen. And it makes us feel like a failure when we don't, in the traditional sense of the word. So here comes the chain of events of these thoughts. It failed, and it morphs into, we failed, and then therefore it starts to crystallize in our thinking that we're not good enough. Recognize that? That's the code for the abyss. Because now being not good enough starts to bleed and metastasize like a cancer into our thinking. Not good enough for this person, not good enough for these people, not good enough for this role. I work with people across 7 decades within a spectrum of ethnicities and diagnoses. The struggle is still the same, and the cycle is still the same. Making goals ties us down to feeling we are responsible for the outcomes. That's the thought that I have to fix it, or I have to do it, or I have to make it happen, or I have to make it successful. That's a trap. The crazy thing is the system will not work consistently. Kind of like a bad cell phone signal. You know how you go in a grocery store and in the beginning it works, and then when you get to the meat section in the back, it doesn't work. But we can't just hang out in the junk food section in the front of the store. We got to get to the back of the store and get the meat. Enough of that analogy. So you may be thinking, okay, please make your point. I don't follow you. Okay. Now, consider changing your thinking. Instead of making and setting goals, how about making and setting objectives? Now, objectives should be the gold standard. Objectives are set by us based on what we have power to do, independent of what other people are going to do. Because anyone who has peopled for any length of time know that people are fickle and can be unreliable. The frustration formula is what I call it. Setting objectives also requires us to be honest with ourselves and challenge us to stop overcommitting ourselves to people please. There's still going to be people who don't like us, that's going to talk about us, judge us, think negatively about us. That is just going to be. Multitasking is also mired in people pleasing. So if you were in the middle of the Serengeti, would it matter how much you did from sunup to sundown? I make my point. Make your world clearer. Now, you may feel in shades of gray, but you cannot function in shades of gray. Create objectives, an object, something tangible, concrete, and hold yourself accountable to complete them. Objectives are to-dos that can exist in a space and time that's realistic. Now, today I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And if I have time, I'll do 1, 2, and 3. Otherwise, I'll move 1, 2, and 3 to next Thursday. If you find that you did not complete an objective and you feel bad, look in that box of what you put that objective in and make sure it's not packaged with some dependency on others. Like, but I needed so-and-so to do this, and because they didn't do this, I couldn't do that. People will people. Sometimes things are successful and sometimes they are not successful. It's part of the fabric of our existence. Don't sabotage your emotional wellness. Rewrite those goals into objectives and don't go back. Your mind and your body will thank you. Kiss anxiety goodbye. This is your microdosing mental health moment. Have an amazing day.